This session we're going to look at a very familiar pose to you, which is thread the needle. So again, we're looking really here at focusing on the upper body and its upper body release. So with that in mind, let's find our horse stance so that your toes are at the back of your mat. If you know that your ankles pop up or there's any discomfort in your feet in horse stance, pop a blanket underneath that part of your feet just so that you can press down and feel that engagement through the lower part of the legs. So we're going to reach up with your right arm, and that's important because we need to find a release first and a stretch through that right side before we start to drop it. So try, once your hips are neutral, so they're broadly facing down, we then want to leave the hips where they are before we start to sink down with that right shoulder. So as you're threading your arm, your right arm, palm facing up, dropping that right shoulder, you will know if that right shoulder is going to make it down to the mat. If it doesn't, not a problem. We can pop a block or we can put some cushioning underneath that. Now I like to reach out my left arm long, but that doesn't matter. If you prefer to have this left hand here, you might find more stability, and you might find this helps with keeping the pelvis into a neutral position facing down. So just find what feels good for you. And once you're there, try not to collapse into the pose. So we're still going to use this long arm, this left arm, wherever you decide to bring it. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can draw that right shoulder a little bit further under. So whichever shoulder you have low down, try to draw it really far under, keeping your lower body nice and stable. So that's the trick. Lower body as relaxed as possible. And once you find that stretch, just try to stay nice and still. Maybe even close down the eyes and just let the body work its magic here. So the back is nice and broad. The lower arm, no gripping here, so I don't see any fists with this stretched lower arm. And then to come out, you're going to press it into your top hand, and this is going to help bring the chest back to centre. Just steady yourself in all fours in horse stance before you move on to the other side. So let's go through that on the other side. We'll be raising your opposite arm, the one you didn't do. Nice and open. See if you can look up to that top hand, and then take your time to thread. And as you start to thread, turn the palm facing upwards, sliding the back of the hand along the floor, starting to drop that other shoulder, noticing what's happening in the hips, and just finding a place where you can feel stable. So whether it's pressing that upper hand into the mat ever so gently, don't forget to keep that nice alignment in the lower body, and then start to relax the lower body. Keep working that lower shoulder underneath as much as possible so you can feel a lovely release through the shoulders and through the back here. And then when we're ready, we're going to draw that top arm back and use the pressing to bring you back to your horse stance. And hopefully you enjoyed that stretch on your upper back.